Orange Sky Audio presents The Devil's Interval, Dan Kotler, Book 3, by Kevin Tumlinson. Narrated for you by Joe Hempel. Part 1. Prologue. Manhattan, New York, March 29th. It was quiet, and Ashton Mink hated quiet. He'd been in the music business for nearly 40 years now, and there had been very few moments of absolute quiet during his life. He had always lived for the noise. It fed him, nourished him. It was part of his DNA. Sound made him who he was. Even now, after retiring from touring, he still hit the stage for local sets. He still recorded and produced and performed. He helped other musicians get their sound right, get in front of the right audience, and get into the business of spotlights and autographs and groupies. It was never about the spotlight for him, anyway. The girls and the drugs and the parties were perks, but it was always, could only have been, would forever be, all about the sound. In fact, sound was at the heart of everything Ashton did in his life. His charity, for example, was built on the idea of sound changing the world. It had started with that little girl, Agnes Jansen, known as Aggie here in the States. She was a Latvian orphan whom Ashton met while on his final tour. She'd been a big fan of his. Latvia had only just opened as a market for Ashton and other musicians a few years ago. Decades of music that had played out in the States was now fresh and new in some parts of the world. Little Aggie had just discovered Ashton Mink when she moved to the U.S. As a treat, her guardian brought her to one of his concerts and somehow managed to get her backstage to meet Ashton and the band, to get some photos and hopefully an autograph. It was the kind of thing that happened all the time, and Ashton wasn't upset about it in the least. It was routine. He'd probably signed 1 million autographs and posed for 1 million photos with 1 million little girls over the years, and so he had knelt beside her, put an arm around her, and said, "Smile for the camera, love." And for the first time he noticed that her guardian, standing just to the side of the photographer, was using sign language. The photographer snapped the photo, and Ashton turned to face little Aggie. It was the first time he noticed the bulky devices behind each of her ears, hidden somewhat by her hair, but still visible if you were looking. Aggie was smiling, blissful, and she hugged him tight. He returned the hug and patted her on the back as she ran back to her guardian, the two of them signing to each other in excitement. Before they could leave, Ashton caught up with them. "I'm sorry," he said to the guardian, "but is she deaf?" The guardian, whom Ashton would later learn was named Amanda.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?